मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लाङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। नमयों विष्णुपादाय श्रीगौरप्रियमूर्तये श्रीमते भक्तिवल्लभतीर्थगोस्वामिनामिने। कृपया क्षमतामपराधिजनं कलुषायुतशक्तसुदीननरं सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं प्रणमामि च माधव देवपदम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 6th chapter. Narada is speaking about his past life, wherein after the sages had left the place of Narada Goswami, after that Narada Goswami's mother, she was killed by the snake's bite, and then Narada Goswami leaves everything and enters into the forest. He meditates upon the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord gives darshan to him, and then soon after that he disappears. And then Narada becomes very much disturbed, and Narada is repeatedly trying to concentrate on the Supreme Lord to be able to see him. But at that time, the Lord says that in this birth you will not see me anymore. There was a celestial voice that he hears which says that you will not see me in this birth anymore, because in sadhaka deha, in the body of a practitioner, no one will be able to see me. It's only in one's realized form they will be able to see me. So we will continue from where we left. Sat sevaya dirghayapi jata mai dridhamatihi hitva vadyamimam lokam ganta majjana tamasi. अति अल्पकाल मात्र अनुष्ठान करिलेও তুমি যে সাধু সেবা করিয়াছো তদ্বারাই আমার প্রতি তোমার অচলা বুদ্ধির উদয় হইয়াছে. The celestial voice means the Lord is telling to Narada Goswami that in a very short span of time you have attained a very stable mind, a fixation of your mind in me. Because this is a practice for several lifetimes. To fix one's mind on Krishna is not an easy task. The yogis, the rishis, the munis, they are sitting for millions of years to be able to see the Supreme Lord, to concentrate their mind on Him. But they are not becoming successful. That is why Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj are very, very fortunate, because the great rishis and munis and even the scriptures personified, they are trying to fix their mind in the Supreme Lord, but they are not able to do so. That Supreme Lord is playing in the courtyard of Nanda and Yashoda. That is why one devotee by the name Raghupati Upadhyay, he writes, Shruti mitare smriti mapare bharate anye bhavanti bhita aham iham nandam vande yasyalinde parabrahma. Bhagavan Parabrahma, the Supreme. Shruti mitare, some follow the Shrutis. They follow the Shruti Shastras, means the Vedas, Upanishads, etc. Smriti mapare, and some others follow the Puranas. Means some take the shelter of the Puranas, some take shelter of the Vedas. Bharatam anye bhavanti bhita, and some others, they take shelter of Mahabharata, where the Lord's glories are mentioned, whatever. Bhavanti bhita, who? Those who are fearful of this material world, those who fear repeated birth and death and suffering, threefold afflictions in this material world, they take shelter of Shrutis or Smritis or Mahabharata. But Raghupati Upadhyay is telling that Aham iham nandam vande, but I offer my obeisances to Nanda Maharaj. Because Yasyalinde Parabrahma, that Parabrahma Supreme Lord, everyone is trying to catch hold of the Supreme Lord in their heart, but they are not successful. Why? Supreme Lord is playing in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, where everyone is trying to catch hold of him. That Lord is caught in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, is playing there. Means Raghupati Upadhyay is telling that I take shelter of the devotees. That is the meaning. We may want to follow the Vedas, we may want to follow the Puranas, we may want to follow the Mahabharata, but Raghupati Upadhyay is saying that I will follow the pure devotees, because in their heart the Supreme Lord is performing the pastimes. So here to Narada, the celestial voice is telling that in a very short time you got fixation of your mind, which yogis cannot do. Why? The reason is, Tumi je sadhu seva kariyacho, because you have served the sadhus. The easiest way to please the Supreme Lord, the easiest way to take darshan of Supreme Lord is serving the sadhus. Now we want to meet the president or the prime minister of the country. We are trying so many ways. We are trying to get some recommendation from somebody. We are trying to, go through his PA or someone. We are making so many attempts. But the easiest way is you perform an activity by which the president will say, wow, who has done this? I want to see this fellow. We can even get the award through the hands of president or the prime minister if we perform such an activity. Therefore, what is that activity? The Lord's attention immediately goes upon those who serve the devotees. So he is telling that even though very short time You have attained fixation of your mind upon me because of serving the sadhus. अतएव তুমি দাসী গর্ভজাত তোমার এই পাপয়োনি দেহ পরিত্যাগ করিয়া আমার নিজ জনত্ব অর্থাৎ পার্শ্বতত্ব প্রাপ্ত হইবে. Therefore, you will give up this body as the son of a maid servant. You will give up this body and you will attain the body as my eternal associate. Because he said already that this is sadhaka deha, this is a practitioner body. Very soon you will give up this body and then you will attain my associate. You will become my associate very soon by giving up this body, because you have served the pure devotees in a very short time. Sri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, अति अल्पकालेও साधु परिचर्यार फले এই নিন্দনীয় লোক সাংসারিক জনের আবাস স্থল ত্রিভুবনেই পরিত্যাগ করিয়া সজ্জনতা অর্থাৎ আমার পার্শ্বদত্ব লাভ করিবে. This material world is most abominable, most degraded, fallen, and this is the place where the prisoners live. Those who have committed sins, those who are giving afflictions to everyone, and those who are bound by the three modes of material nature, those persons are living in this prison house of the material world. This is not the place for your living, because you served the sadhus. Therefore you will be released from this prison house. Like once we are caught in the prison house, if we perform any nice activity by which the jail keeper or the government is very pleased, they will say, okay, now you are free, you can move out of this place now, you don't need to be a prisoner any longer. In a similar manner, this world is a prison house, and in a very short time you became free from this prison house because of your serving the sadhus. Matirmayi निबद्धेयम न विपद्येत कर्हिचित प्रजा सर्ग निरोधे अपि स्मृतिश्च मद अनुग्रहात्. তোমার এই যে মদাশ্রিতা বুদ্ধি তাহা কখনো বিলুপ্ত হইবে না, এবং আমার কৃপা প্রভাবে प्रजा सृष्टि एवं प्रलयेउ तोमार जन्मांतरेण स्मृति भ्रष्ट होइबे ना. Further, the celestial voice is telling to Narada Goswami, means the Supreme Lord only, is telling that madashrita buddhi, the intelligence that you have got to submit yourself to me, mad ashrita buddhi, your intelligence has been submitted to me. This madashrita buddhi taha kokhno vilupta hoibe na. Your intelligence will never be lost. Means your intelligence of serving me, submitting to me, will never be lost. And by my grace or mercy, even though the entire world will be annihilated, still you will have remembrance of all these things. How you have taken shelter to me, how you have perfected, and how you took my darshan, and how what I spoke to you, all these things will be remembered by you always, by my mercy. Because one of the questions that Narada Goswami, Vedavyas Muni has inquired is that how did you remember your past? Particularly in the previous kalpa, not only previous day or previous month or previous year or previous birth. In the previous kalpa, whatever has happened, how can you remember all that? Is Narada Vedavyasa's one of the questions. So he's telling that I got the grace of the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord told, by my grace, you will not be able to forget this. And also, your intelligence will never ever deviate from my service. Madashrita buddhi. Madashrita means your intelligence which has submitted to me, which has got submitted to me, is never going to change. It will remain eternally. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, তোমার এই মতি কখনোই বিলুপ্ত হইবে না. You will never lose this intelligence. কারণ উহা আমাতে নিবদ্ধ অর্থাৎ স্থাপিত রহিয়াছে. Because it has been fixed upon me. প্রেমের দ্বারাই উহা স্থাপিত. And this has been established in me due to love. Why is it never going to go away? Because Supreme Lord is eternal. Devotion to Supreme Lord is eternal. Therefore, the fixation of one's mind is also going to be eternal. For example, if we fix our mind on any of the temporary things, I want to meditate or concentrate or fix my mind upon construction of a nice house, nice building. My mind is constantly in anxiety to construct that building, but that building will be, what do you call, in some natural catastrophe or in during earthquake, it will be broken, it will be, turned into dust. So the object of my meditation or contemplation, if it is of this material world, is going to be finished. Because any object that we want to meditate upon in this material world, the object itself is temporary, therefore our fixation of mind will also be temporary on it. Because on the object on which I am fixing my mind, that itself is temporary. How can it be eternal? It cannot be. But Supreme Lord is eternal. Therefore, if one fixes the mind on Supreme Lord, it is going to be eternally present. আমি নিত্য বলিয়া আমাতে আশ্রিত তোমার এই মতিও নিত্যই, এই অর্থ. Because I am eternal, your intelligence which has fixed upon me is also eternal. Because the object on which it has been, fixed upon is eternal. Which means the purport of it is the Supreme Lord is eternal, Supreme Lord's devotees are eternal, and the relation between the Lord and his devotees, that is devotion, that is also eternal. It cannot be temporary. एतावदुक्तो अपरराम तन्महद्भूतं नभो लिंगम अलिंगमीश्वरम अहंच तस्मै महतां महीयसे शीर्षावनामं विदधे अनुकंपितः. এই পর্যন্ত বলিয়া সেই সর্বব্যাপী অশরীরী সর্বনিয়ন্তা বিভু চৈতন্য শ্রীহরি বিরত হইলেন. Speaking thus, the all-pervading, the one without material body, the controller of everyone, the supreme consciousness, Sri Hari, disappeared. There are various adjectives or qualities of Sri Hari that are spoken here. Sarvavyapi, he is all pervasive, he is everywhere. The meaning of his everywhere is not only that the Lord is hearing to the calls of Narada, but he will hear any person who is calling Supreme Lord from within the heart very sincerely. The Lord will be able to hear that. Lord will hear that. Sarvavyapi. It's not that, to some persons he will hear and some he will not be able to hear. Sarvavyapi means he is pervading everywhere. He is present everywhere. Any person sincerely calling him, he will immediately know. Ashariri, he has no body, because here Narada Goswami is only hearing the voice. He is not able to see the form. He saw the form once and now he is being heard. The Supreme Lord is being heard. He is not being seen now. Ashariri, the Sri Hari. Hari has a body, but now in this moment in front of Narad, that body is not there. Ashariri, Sarvaniyanta, controller of all the living entities. Means when one acts according to the instructions of the Lord, then he will get the fruit. Sarvaniyanta is the controller of the fruits of the actions of the living entities. Therefore, Sarvaniyanta means we should not complain that Dhruva has attained Supreme Lord, Narada has attained Supreme Lord, I am not attaining. Because he is Sarvaniyanta, he is controlling everyone. As per the fruits, he is awarding the, as per our karma, he is awarding the fruits of those. Narada very sincerely, he left everything, he came to the forest and then he performed bhajan, and as a fruit of it he gave. Similarly, as a controller of all the living entities, if we do, we will also attain that state. Sarvaniyanta Vibhu Chaitanya, supreme consciousness. He is supreme consciousness. Means no living entity can be compared with the Lord. Jiva, living entity is Anu Chaitanya, insignificant, infinitesimal. And Supreme Lord is Vibhu Chaitanya, infinite. One is infinite, other is infinitesimal. A very, very minutest portion. Supreme Lord is the supreme consciousness. So thus, speaking thus, the Lord Sri Hari has disappeared from my eyes. Disappeared means he has no body, but he stopped speaking. I could no longer hear from him. ताहार कृपाय अम्यु महत होते महियान से भगवान के मस्तक अवनत करिया pranam kurilam. By his grace, I also offered my obeisances unto him at the time of his departure. When he disappeared, I also offered obeisances to him by his grace. Because it is by his grace everything is possible. When we are remembering Supreme Lord, if we are speaking about Supreme Lord, if we are hearing about Supreme Lord, if we are offering obeisances to him, all these things are possible only by his grace, nothing else. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, Mahad Bhutam Iha Klibalinga Nirdesha Koriya Ekhane Mahad Bhuto Sri Bhagavanir Ekti Nam. So one of the names of Supreme Lord is Mahad Bhuta, supreme consciousness. Mahat means supreme, great. So he is supreme consciousness. Shrutite ukto hiyache যেমন আর্দ্র কাষ্ঠ দ্বারা প্রজ্বলিত অগ্নি হইতে পৃথক পৃথক ধূম নির্গত হয়, তদ্রূপ এই মৈত্রেয়ী এই মহৎ ভূতের নিঃশ্বাসের ন্যায় বিনির্গত যাহা তাহাই ঋগ্বেদ, যজুর্বেদ, সামবেদ, অথর্ববেদ, ইতিহাস, পুরাণ বিদ্যা, संगीत ओ कला विद्या, उपनिषद समूह, श्लोक समूह, सूत्र समूह, अनुव्याख्यान समूह, व्याख्यान समूह, यही कारण इहारई निश्वास. Now the Lord is called as Mahadbhuta, supreme consciousness. An example is given from the scriptures, from the Shruti Shastras, that just like when wood which is moist, when it is set to fire, at that time you see fume comes out of it. Fume is coming out of it. The fumes are just like the nishwasa, that's like the respiration, that's like water is evaporating, right? It's coming out of the wood. When the wood is wet and you are burning it, then the fumes come. Means it is leaving out something, the water basically. In a similar manner, Mahadbhuta, the Supreme Lord, he also has Nishwasa. Nishwasa means exhalation. When he is exhalating, what does he do? His exhalations are Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda, Puranas, Itihasas, the scriptures, the shlokas, the Sanhitas, all these things are coming out of the Supreme Lord. They are exhalations of the Supreme Lord. Ataiva jahar nishwasai चारि वेद रूप प्रमाण ताहार वचन ताहा अपेक्षो अति प्रमाण ए भाव. Why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling this is that that person whose exhalation is Vedas. Veda means truth. Veda means eternal truth, absolute truth. Absolute truth means that which is not limited by time, space and circumstances. Eternal. Absolute truth means eternal truth. Now there is a relative truth. What is the relative truth? Now whatever rules, certain rules and regulations are available today may not be available or may not be applicable after few years down the line. When mobile phones were not invented, telephone authority of our country, every country has its own telephone authority. Telephone authority, they had a particular set of rules. But those set of rules are not eternal rules. That yes, this is going to be the rule for the rest of the lifetime till there is annihilation. No. They keep on getting updated. Now we have a new telephone regulations and rules. Every country has it. Not only this. That's why there are so many blockages, hacking is going on, or so many, content is getting screened. So many things are going on. But earlier it was not there. Why? Because the rules of telephone authority, I'm just giving one example, not only telephone authority, there are several such examples you can take. The rules are changing, means the changing rules, the changing regulations, they cannot be called as absolute truth. In India, driving on the left, overtaking from the right is a rule. But this is not a universal rule. If I go to America, this rule is not applicable. I have to drive from the right, I have to overtake from the left. So, whatever regulation that I have made is limited by time, is limited by space, means the location. But Vedas are not like that. It is absolute, it is eternal. Therefore, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling that he whose exhalation itself is Vedas, means eternal truth, what to speak of his own words. Now, whatever Narada Goswami said so far are the words of Supreme Lord. The words are that you will not be able to see me any longer. Only in Siddha Deha one will be able to see me, but in Sadhaka Deha I have given you my vision. And now you will very soon give up this body and become my associate. And even after the annihilation, you will be able to remember me. You will have the remembrance of an entire episode that has happened with you. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling that he whose exhalation itself is absolute truth, what to speak of his speech? That's also absolute. Absolute. It's an evidence. It's an evidence for all times, eternal. Sei Mahadbhutai Ishwar Sarvaniyamak. Therefore, that Sarvabhuta, that Supreme Consciousness is nothing but the Supreme Lord. Supreme Consciousness means the Supreme Lord or Sarvaniyamak, the controller of all. अति निकृष्ट दासीपुत्र आमाके जे सेई रूप वर प्रदान इहाउ ताहार एकटी ईश्वरत्व भाव. I am such an insignificant living entity, son of a maid servant. No value. A maid servant has no value. And the son of a maid servant, he has got any value. Son of Prime Minister, President, multimillionaire or businessman, there is some value. Or minister, there is some value. But the son of a maid servant, no value. So even though I am so insignificant without any value, yet the Supreme Lord has showered such mercy upon me. It is nothing but His Ishwaratva. It is nothing but His supremacy or his independent nature. Means he can shower his mercy upon anyone. Just like in this material world, if someone has been employed by a company, you need to give a reason. Why did you employ him? Why did you employ him? What credit he has got? What merit he has got? You are answerable to someone else. Means I am recruiting, but I am answerable to someone to, I have to tell why I have recruited, for with what quality and merit. Supreme Lord is not having such, is not bound by anything. If he desires, he can shower mercy. He is not answerable. He doesn't have to tell, somebody is asking, oh Hari, why did you shower mercy on the son of a maid servant? What qualification he has got? You are not supposed to do this. Nobody is going to question the Supreme Lord's authority. He is supreme. Means it is his causeless compassion. आकाशेई जाहार श्री मुखोच्चारितो वचन रूप चिह्न रहियाछे ताहा जेहेतु ताहा लक्ष्य करा जाय ना नेत्रद्वय द्वारा अदृष्ट बोलिया तिनी अलिंग. He is called as Alinga. Alinga means he who is not to be seen, means he has no material body, whose gender cannot be, decided. What kind of gender he is or she is cannot be identified. Therefore, he is called as Nabholinga or Alinga. That is what means he is Nastri, Nashando, Napuman, Najantuhu. Who is telling this? Gajendra is telling this. Nashando, Napuman, Najantu, Nastri. That supreme authority is not a woman. Nashando, that supreme authority is not a transgender. Napuman, that supreme authority is not a man. He is not a man, that is not a man, woman, transgender. Najantuhu, nor a neutral gender, means animal. Natiryak, not a bird. Na Deva, not a demigod. Who is he? Narada, Gajendra is telling that I offer my obeisances to that Supreme who is beyond all these. Because the moment we say that the Supreme Lord is, let's say, a man, immediately we think that, oh, man has got these bad qualities. Every man has got bad qualities, obviously. So, as soon as we say, oh, here is a man, Supreme Lord is a man, oh, then he must also have got these qualities, man like man. If one says that he is a woman, woman also has got some bad qualities. As soon as we say Supreme Lord is a woman, oh, woman has these bad qualities. So, Supreme Lord also has got these bad qualities. Transgender also bad qualities. Which means that he is beyond any of these things. Alinga, he has no material body that we can identify his gender. He is his own gender. Supreme Lord is his own gender. There is no man, woman. Whatever we think in this material world, man, woman, that is not applicable there. Simply enjoyer and enjoyed, that's all. That is the gender there. Supreme Lord is the enjoyer. Everyone else is to be enjoyed by him. So, the Mukhocharito Vachana Rupa Chihna Royache, I was able to only hear his voice. Therefore, he is a neutral gender. He is not no gender, nobody knows what kind of gender he belongs to. Now, I think I will stop here little early today because the next verse is little longer and we will not have Harikatha for the next 3-4 days. I am going to Puri and from there to one or two other places. So I will not be able to join tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon I have to leave, so before the class. So therefore we will continue on Monday. I will be coming here on Monday. We'll continue from next Monday. So next 4-5 days there will be no Harikatha. If you have any questions, we can take. I didn't want to take. I didn't want to start another verse because it will take some time, and I don't want to stop now and then start after 5 days. Yes.
How the situation when you didn't know whether and you did some mistakes in this life, and how you said whether it is absolute knowledge for every country, for Russia, for India,
Yes.
no matter where we live in, where we was born. How to accept it, because sometimes we didn't know what to prove when we lived in Russia when I was born. When I was young, I didn't know what to prove, which I know now. Maybe sometimes I felt something from my heart, but I didn't feel strength to follow for it. How to accept it?
See, the thing is how to accept it.
How to accept it? No. Because someone when they someone I said about when they said, oh, it is not for us, it is so much difficult, I can't live it like this. And they even can't accept it because they even did so many mistakes. And it is so much duty for them hard. And they want to say, no, that is not true. They try to say that.
It's hard to accept that karma, like this realization is all this karma is coming up.
Yes. That's why Guru Maharaj used to say that before you say that this does not exist, this is not true, Guru Maharaj used to say you should not come to that conclusion very quickly. You should not come to that conclusion very quickly. You have to see, you have to study, you have to understand. When you go through, and then you will, it is like a course. It's like a study. You have to study it to understand the importance of it. If anything, I say that Lord has no form. I'm just giving an example. Lord has no form. Simply I say I don't accept it. It means that it doesn't mean that the Supreme Lord has no form. You have to basically undergo a particular process to really come to an eligibility to understand whether it is right or wrong. For that, the consciousness needs to be elevated. So Vedas are a study in themselves. Now outright you cannot say that I don't believe in it, I don't accept it. The first thing is you have to study, you have to see, and then how much practically they are becoming applicable to our day-to-day life. Those questions that cannot be solved by any of the other scriptures available in the country or in the world, I should say, those things will be answered simply by coming in contact with the Vedas. Our, Professor Nixon, our Guru Maharaj used to say, Professor Nixon's story, I will not go into the story, but he had a realization about the existence of the Supreme. Before that, he did not believe in the existence of the Lord at all. He thought that we are all in all. But he got a realization at one point that there is Supreme Controller. Then he started to inquire about it. He was a German, so he was going to the church to inquire. They are giving some answers, but he is putting some advanced questions. They had no answers for it. He was inquiring more and more, but they told that, if you want to know to that detail, then you should go to India. There, go to Himalayas, and then there are many rishis and munis who have got very ancient knowledge. They will be able to solve your questions. So, first thing is that I don't have that inquisitiveness, I don't have the sincerity to know, but simply outright to say I don't believe in Vedas, it's not correct. If you have the sincerity, then you will understand the importance of it. Now I may say I don't like the mobile. I don't like the mobile. But once you know that these features are there in the mobile, these are the things that are useful for me, then slowly you start believing, okay, this is important for me. But until then, that no, mobile is not required. In a similar manner, Vedas are also, when we become sincere, when we want to really understand what is the depth of it, then we means depth of that spiritual knowledge, then we have to take shelter of Vedas. No other scriptures can really explain to that degree as Vedas can do, because Vedas are ancient. Vedas have emanated directly from Supreme Lord, whereas every other scripture is just an expansion or interpretation of that particular person. But Vedas are not like that. Okay. So okay, we will stop here and then we will meet again next Monday. पांछाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गांधर्विका गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्वात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय। परमाराधितम पतित पावन स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टो विष्णुपाद प्रवंश स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति दयित माधव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जगत गुरु श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री श्री रूपानुग गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। श्री कृष्ण द्वैपायन वेद व्यास महामुनि की जय। जय श्री श्री नारद गोस्वामी की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत श्रवण करे भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।